Hello, 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 and welcome to Paddle Forward Podcast, where we navigate life's currents. My name is Anacani. I'm your host, and it has been a minute, and I just need to stop making excuses and just come on and record this. I apologize for the break. It's been a heck of a summer with my son dealing with allergies, food allergies stemming from his eczema down to me having major oral surgery that involved a bone graft in my jaw. So I just wanted to come on. I'm actually getting ready to get my son. I taught yoga today. It was great. This is actually the birthday week for the Marine Corps, which is kind of a big deal, especially because my husband's an active duty Marine. So a lot of moving parts. We have ball season. So if you are a military spouse, oh, that's an ordeal in itself and can sometimes feel like an obligation, but you just need to give yourself some grace and you're going to have to go through it anyway. So might as well just enjoy glamming up and doing self-care rituals and all that stuff. So I did want to talk about something that just came up and it's kind of a random topic, but it just really made me kind of feel like I should bring it up. So I've had experiences doing meal trains, and as I go further into my training with like matrescence and taking care of a woman's body postpartum. For those of you who don't know, I am a women's wellness coach. I have actually a nurse by trade. It is what I used to do before I became an entrepreneur. I'm also a military spouse, and I kind of ended up pivoting my nursing career when we moved overseas because he got orders right before COVID to Japan, and it was difficult to get a job doing what I was doing in the nursing field out here. It's very competitive. The job market is super small as is, and then with COVID, it just made it almost impossible. So I resorted back to a business that I had started as like a side hustle, which is actually Fat Mermaids, PHAT. It's a stand-up paddleboard fitness and empowerment. It's like a body positivity and mindset fitness business that I started and I still actually run to this day. But it was an opportunity to just do something to just bring some money in and give me some peace of mind, find something, an outlet, especially during COVID. I could still do it. We're never really ever that close in stand up paddleboarding, and it's outside. So it was like this perfect thing. But people were really scared, and eventually, I did get some people to take me up on an offer to go paddling. And for those that did, they thanked me 100% for it. It was really a hard sell. And it's just not a year round thing. So I got pregnant in my 40s, and that really pivoted my trajectory of what I ended up doing, which was primarily doing pre and postnatal wellness and yoga. And so I currently am a prenatal postpartum yoga instructor. I do a lot of baby and me and toddler and me yoga instructor class or yoga classes right now for the community. And I still do once a week. I teach just regular adults, primarily targeted for the Marines, because it's just mental health out here has just been really just awful for a lot of people. It's been hard to bounce back. For some people, it's hard just in general. If this is their first duty station, it's their first time away from home and that kind of stuff. So I wanted to just put something out there for just the mental health aspect of just anybody, not just females and specifically, the Marines who are part of my husband's unit. And so I do that once a week. But I have a specific position in my husband's unit that allows me to support the spouses and families, act as a bridge between them and the actual like military side of things. And so commonly, sometimes we get asked if we can help with like meal trains. And it's typically usually for arrival of new babies. It's either young couples or people that just have multiple family members already and there is no family support here and they're just needing some extra help as they get through, the first few weeks, even the first few days of having a newborn home, which I can completely understand. We actually had a meal train and it was for like a week, but it was life saving, especially because we had an unexpected long admission into the hospital, both my son and I. So by the time we got home, we weren't expecting to be away from home for over a week. It was much needed. So we didn't have to deal with going to the grocery store because I was traumatized and so was my husband, and neither of us really were in a position to go out grocery shopping. So I just found it uniquely just triggering, I guess, because I was talking to a friend about a meal train, and they had commented that they were being asked if they had any specific like food requirements or needs or anything like that. And they're like, no, like just whatever. We're just thankful. And I really have been in this position where I'm like, damn that, dude, if it's for you for postpartum, because you're doing this because you're basically just gave birth, you should really ask them to ask people to avoid the things that you're not supposed to have postpartum, like spicy food, and try to do like broths, nothing greasy, no fried foods. No, try not to do anything like super takeouty, like hamburgers or anything that's going to be heavy. Try to avoid anything that's going to be too salty. But there's like a whole list of things that you should avoid postpartum. Why? Because it will help you. One, it's not good for your recovery. It slows everything down. There's possible complications because, hello, you just had a baby and things are trying to shift back. Hormones are trying to rebalance. There's so much going on in a woman's body after birth that people just don't even consider. And so it's this notion, they're like, well, I don't want to like make anybody feel like extra pressure, like they already signed up for the meal train and like that offer's already nice enough. I don't want to add to like their list of things to do or bother them. I'm so grateful that they even signed up to begin with. And I'm thinking, you know what? That is such a woman's like mentality of how society has pushed us to like react to certain things. I was like, if you were a man, let's put it in perspective. If you were a man who had colon surgery, and I'm not even talking about like for cancer, like just colon surgery, maybe you have colitis, an inflammation of your large intestines. You basically develop kind of like pimples on the inside of your intestines. And sometimes it's dietary, sometimes it can be lifestyle, and sometimes it could be hereditary, but either way, usually it's bad diet that triggers it and then it gets inflamed. And then sometimes it ruptures and you end up having to have emergency colon surgery. But let's just say this was scheduled. You've been having the pain. They've done all the exams. They're like, yep, you have to have colon surgery to remove this segment of colon that's been inflamed before it goes into a situation where it ruptures. And then you're like into major abdominal surgery because we can't do it laparoscopically. It's still colon surgery. They have to cut you open. They're doing it with the little probes. You only get 4 or 5 incisions, but you'll be in the hospital for 2 to 3 days. And then it's usually a few months recovery because it takes time for your colon to like get back into the thing. You have to be on a special diet. You can't just eat whatever you want after colon surgery. So if you were like, let's just say single, or you're something in the family home was making it hard for you guys, like you guys needed the extra support and you wanted a meal train, you would be damn right that that man would be like, oh no, if you're going to sign up for my meal train, I need you to be on point and support me. Like the whole point of this is to make sure that I recover, and you can't just give me anything. Like I need you guys, like he would have a list of all this stuff that he would need to avoid or things that he can and cannot have. And I'm like, why is that any different to a woman who just gave birth, whether vaginal or C-section? Like, why do we feel like we don't want to bother people? Like they already made the gesture of signing up for the meal train. We don't want to make it harder for them. I'm like, hello, the whole point is that they're giving to you. And I feel like the person, like, I've signed up for plenty of meal trains. I would rather have some guidance and give you something that you're really going to like eat or even have this sense that like, oh man, I went the extra mile and made this amazing postpartum stew. I went and Googled it or went on Pinterest and I followed a recipe. I really hope you like it. I hope it helps. But to know that I'm doing my part to really help this person and not just feed their family, but really help in the recovery of this specific postpartum journey. Like you guys understand that when you sign up for a meal train for a new arrival of a baby, that and maybe people don't. Maybe I'm just naive and be like, dude, it should be common sense. Like you need to be cooking to make sure that you're having the mom heal because eventually that's what we are trying to get to happen is for her to recover so that she can take care and the family can keep move on and do what they need to do to like function. And so it just really just triggered. I was just like, why is it that women feel like, no, like I don't want to put anything in there like things that they like specific for postpartum recovery because like I don't want people to not sign up because I'm being too picky. I'm like, no, no, no. No, homegirl. Let's change that mentality and let's feel worthy of this. And if people don't want to sign up, well, then you know what? They're not doing it for the right reasons, in my opinion. So this is probably a POV podcast, but it just like it's been marinating in my mind because moving forward, I just did one meal train and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna add these like little things for them to kind of guide them, like, try to not bring this or sign up for this kind of food or bring this type of food. So, anyways, I gotta go. I hope you're doing fantastic. Whatever it is that you're doing, if you're starting a new business, you're in the middle of your business has been slow, you're stuck, you're struggling, boo, I've got you. I've been there. It gets better. Remember, consistency is key. Just keep showing up. And at the end of the day, we show up, even if it's just to change the life of one person, to make one person's life better. And if you're a heart led entrepreneur like I am, you understand what I mean when I say that. If you're a mama, girl, parent, inhale the peace, exhale the chaos. Remember that you are doing the best you can, boo, and that is always enough. I'm in the thick of it with you with my 2.5-year-old. And yeah, reach out to me if you need any help. I am trying to figure out ways to make my classes more accessible, but I am starting a new community with better support. I am looking forward to just coming on here more often and recording and sharing and inspiring and giving value and educating. So look out if you really enjoyed this podcast episode. Feel free to hit that follow so you don't miss future episodes, as well as leave me a comment or review, especially if there's something that you would like me to record a podcast episode on. Stay fat, stay fabulous, stay beautiful, keep paddling forward, and I will catch you in the next episode.